Since my last video was so crazy popular, I have done research and I'm coming back with you for part 2 of 50 more smart money hacks. I'll link to the other video, so if you haven't seen the first one, go watch it. That was 75. People really responded to it, and so I see that we're all in this position right now where we're really interested in being smart with our money. Whether it's you're close to retirement, you're saving to pay for a kid's college fund, you just want life to be a little bit easier financially, any of the above, let's do what we can. Let's share information, and this is what I have for you today. By the way, my name is Erin. This account is called Empowered Aging, and I talk everything essentially second half of your life. Rewriting your story, creating new careers, dealing with relationships and ageism, and just everything as you do act 2 of your life. So, shall we begin? 50 more smart money hacks, part 2. All right, number 1, stop by a food bank. If you are in need or you know somebody who is, food banks are there to help. All right, vote with your money. Boycott places like Target, Starbucks, Walmart, wherever you feel politically or emotionally or morally aligned with. If you boycott it, as much as it might be a change to your life, it will actually benefit you financially. So for example, if you're somebody that would go to Target and just let it tell you what to buy, and let's say you're boycotting Target, you could literally do the math on how much money you're saving. Because even if you're there to buy things that you do need, you put in that basket a few things each time that you didn't need. So you'll save money if you vote with your money. Consider taking on house sitting. House sitting is not only something that could pay, or you could travel doing free house sitting, but you could also do your laundry for free. So it could be additional benefits. Or you could use their AC when you don't want to run your AC or you don't have one in the summers, or, there's some benefits to do it. I mean, still do a good job being a house sitter, but consider house sitting. This one is a hot button topic. Consider not drinking alcohol. I stopped over 3 years ago now, and I am thrilled with it. Not just is it not nagging and something I think about all the time, the amount of money I've saved is crazy, and the better sleep, my skin is better, my mornings are better. I mean, just the amount of things that are better. I could do a whole separate, actually I have done a whole separate video about it. Let me know if you want more info or you want encouragement. But you could have a lot of reasons not to drink, and money could be one of them. Remind yourself that everything in your house was once money. I love this one because it's a little bit painful, but it does make you go, I need to buy less stuff, because look at all the stuff that I have, and this is all money I worked for. Was it worth it? Was it worth it? And I bet you'll find a lot of it wasn't worth it, and sometimes we mess up and we buy stuff we shouldn't buy. Sometimes we rationalize it, but look around and go, look at all this wasted money, and hopefully that will, if you continue to remind yourself of that, it can help you make more thoughtful choices going forward. Print out a free calendar and color it in for every day you were really smart about money, or that you spent $0, or where you spent less than $10, or whatever the thing is. I live in New York City, so you basically have to never leave the house to never spend money. And of course you still spend money because your rent is insane or whatever it is. But if you can show yourself a visual chart, you can do color coding, you can give yourself star stickers. That stuff works whether you're an adult or a kid. So print out a calendar for free and start tracking it. Even if you just want to understand what your habits are, you'll start to see some patterns. Freeze more of your food and then use as needed. There's food that you can freeze that you probably weren't thinking. I freeze my bread all the time because otherwise it'll go bad. So, and then I just pull it out and use whatever I need for toasting or whatever it is. So freeze more than you think and just use as needed. You can freeze avocados, you can freeze cheese, you can freeze a lot of food. So consider that. All right, some people are recommending putting $5 in a piggy bank or a savings account every time something happens. Some people were saying every time they cry, or every time they laugh, or every time that they buy something they shouldn't have, then they have to pay also into that savings. Could just be $5 or something small, but it is like yet another way to force yourself to put money into something that's important. Stop buying clothes for a year. This is something I very much need to do, because sometimes you feel like, oh, the clothes are gonna fix everything in life. it's the rush of shopping, or it's the idea that then I'll look like the person I feel like on the inside. Then I'll finally look like me or right or whatever it is. But I bet you can challenge yourself to not buy any, and then just to figure out how to actually style with what you have better, so you feel better about your outfits, but with what you have. You probably have plenty. We all have plenty. Learn to mend clothes. It's not that hard, and it is very satisfying, and it of course piggybacks onto the last one we just said. I also love mending where you see the stitches, where it's very, there's like Japanese or Korean style mending practices that look so charming. So I'd say lean into that too. But a lot of the time you can mend something and it's probably not that big a deal, and you definitely didn't need to get rid of it and get a new version. All right, this is sometimes you just need to go to bed. Instead of being up late on your phone and happening to click on an ad on Instagram and then spontaneously purchasing the thing you didn't need. Sometimes, especially if you notice your shopping habits, your not smart ones happen at night, just go to bed. Go to bed earlier. It will only benefit you. You go to bed earlier means maybe you're not binge eating or you're not drinking as much alcohol. It means you're getting more sleep. It means your whole next day is better. Like going to bed earlier could cut off a lot of bad habits. Let's say you have $618 in your checking. At the end of that week, move $18 into savings, and then do that every week. So take that sort of little straggler amount and put it in savings. You're not going to feel that difference. You'll still have a solid $600 or whatever your number is in your checking, but that savings will start to accumulate for an emergency or a special trip or whatever it is without you feeling the pain. So make it a habit. All right, this one was highly recommended. Only buy food that you sort of like. So as a way to, let's say, not buy just food that's not good for us, that we'll binge eat or eat extra of even when we're not hungry anymore. If you only buy food that you're fine with but not excited about, then you won't overeat it, you won't overspend on food, and you'll eat out of necessity and not out of filling time, boredom, binging, whatever the deal is. So you'll save money on food if you buy food you're fine with but not excited about. Let's say you found a piece of clothing or an item that you really do want. Okay, fine. Copy and paste the exact description, copy it, and then paste it into eBay, Mercari, all these, secondhand shopping sites, and find it for less. Somebody's got that exact same thing that they're now trying to sell. And maybe they didn't even use it. They just feel guilty for having purchased it and they're trying to sell it off. All right, have a day or a week where you eat everything in your pantry before you go grocery shopping again. I love this one too, because I let canned goods go bad too quick or too much, too often. So have a day where you go, okay, we need to clear out this pantry before we reload. And you can put all the ingredients into ChatGPT and let it tell you nice recipes to make, so you can still enjoy your meals, but have a clean out day or a week. Unplug appliances when they're not in use. Could be your computer charger. Your laptop doesn't have to be plugged in all the time. Could be your cell phone charger. It could be, you could go so far as it being your TV and lamps in the microwave. Some people do the fridge when they go out of town for an extended period of time. Unplug things when they're not in use. Be sure to cancel unnecessary subscriptions. We're all subscribing to stuff that we don't need. It could be Disney and you've decided to vote with your money. It could be that you have 5 streaming platforms and you really don't need 5. There could be apps on your phone. You can check your phone and it usually shows where some subscriptions are. So go through that and make sure you're being honest with yourself about whether you use them or need them. Or if you're thinking, well, I'll want to use this once, school is over, well, then get it then, but don't pay for it now. You really want to save money? Rent a room in somebody else's house. Don't buy your own, don't rent your own. Just spend whatever period of time you need to be smart and save up money like crazy and rent a room in somebody's house. Imagine how much money you'll save. And let's say you're trying to hustle to create a business, or you're trying to hustle pay off your college loans, or whatever it is, or put a lot of money towards retirement, rent a room. Do you know that they have reusable paper towels? They are cloth paper towels that literally you roll up on a roll. So you can still pull them off the roll like you would want to and need to when you're in the kitchen, but then you just throw them in the wash and then do it again. So reusable paper towels. Have a friends or neighborhood swap party. I have done this a lot. Brooklyn loves this kind of stuff. And so it could be, sometimes it's like, oh, all women's clothes and accessories. Sometimes they'll even be so specific that it'll be like everybody that's size small, medium, or whatever the deal is. Or maybe it's all baby items, or maybe it's all accessories, or maybe it's all books. Have a swap. Those are super fun. Make a fun thing out of it. All right, when grocery shopping, go to Aldi's or somewhere discount before you go to the main grocery store. Some people are very good about this already, but you can go to the budget grocery stores first, or the discount ones. Get absolutely everything you can there. And then what they don't have that you still need, then you go pay at the full price one. This is a classic, but pay in cash. When you pay in cash, you physically see the money leaving you. You feel it, you see it, you make harder decisions or stronger decisions based on the fact that you're going to witness that money leave your hands. This is what I'm going to start doing. Get a huge Sam's Club or Costco or BJ's roasted chicken. You can get the one that's already cooked. Get a huge one and then use it for a bunch of meals. Like, tear it all off, get everything you can out of it. You can even, make broth out of the carcass, and then use all that chicken across multiple meals when you're meal prepping. The meals are really endless as far as recipes go. So I think that's a great suggestion. Recycle cans. If you have a bunch of cans and you can have the space, you can accumulate them, and at the end of a week or a month, take them and recycle them and get some money back. Put that towards something that makes you excited, or towards an emergency fund, or towards spending cash for the next week. But I mean, we all have cans. Have you heard of dumpster diving? Dumpster diving is very interesting to me. It's where stores, let's say Michael's, the craft store, or grocery stores, where at the end of whatever period of time, they throw unsold things in the garbage can. And these are like packaged stuff. It could be perfectly good food that's not expired. It could be Michael's, it's like toys and stuff in the box, or crafts that for some reason, I don't understand how these stores work, but they've decided they're done with these things. So they go in the trash. Kills me that they're not going to somebody in need or somewhere better. But you can dumpster dive and people find amazing stuff. Not only will they find it, but often they'll then sell it online. So it's sort of a double thing there. Rinse out your sandwich bags, like your Ziplocs, and use them again. That is like a classic, and also feels good because you're not using as much plastic. So rinse them out. I also have invested in some of those silicone ones that are like Ziplocs, but the silicone, you can microwave, you can put them in the oven, I think. You can do a lot with them. So I love those. All right, this is one I've used before. You put your credit card that you struggle with because you use maybe too much, put it in a block of ice in your freezer. So in an emergency, you can break it out, but that it's not quite so easy to get to. Studies show that if something's hard to do, like has a couple too many steps or layers to get there, you'll be less likely to do it. And in many cases, they use that for websites. Like, if it's not just a buy now button, but you have to go through 3 different web pages to get to the purchase point, you might give up along the way. So they have people drop out. But if it's just a very fast purchase, you're much more likely to do it. So the same thing with the credit card. If you make it a little bit harder to get to, you're most likely going to drop out along the way. I love this idea. When you're buying online or buying fast food or at a restaurant, get kids meals. Order yourself kids meals and pick up the order, because they won't want to feed you a kids meal at the table. But if you ordered a kids meal for pickup, when you go to pick it up, they won't be questioning it. And kids meals are often substantial enough. So consider kids meals for pickup. This might seem obvious, but do free things when you hang out with friends. If they're always suggesting things that make it so that you have to spend a lot of money that you don't want to spend, you can be someone that suggests free or inexpensive things. So especially in the summers, there's a lot of stuff to do, but there's stuff to do in the fall. I mean, you guys can go apple picking and you not actually pay for apples and pick them, but you just are along for the ride. Things like that. That's just one idea. This is one that I do and love, is have an additional savings account in a separate bank from your main accounts. So when you transfer money to it, it's out of sight, out of mind. You can have automatic transfers created too, so that you don't think about it. But if it's completely separate, you're less likely to touch it. This is a classic and something we should all do every year, but call around and have your bills lowered. call each bill you have and say, what can you do for me? Because I'm thinking about going elsewhere if you can't offer me a discount. Try it and see. Just do it. It won't take much time. Something I learned recently is that, AARP is not just for people of a certain age. You can join it at any age. It's very inexpensive to join, and you get discounts with it. So you can get your cell phone down if you're a member, your cell phone price down, monthly cost, if you're a member of AARP. So consider joining for those benefits. This is a classic from when you were a kid, but get a breakable piggy bank that is unopenable without smashing it, and shove cash and coins into it every time, let's say, you walk in the door and empty your pockets out at the front door. Keep it at the front door and just shove a bunch of money, or keep it by the washing machine, so that when you empty pockets, whatever you find goes into that thing, and don't open it. Just keep shoving it in. This is something people have done before too. They have canceled all their cards and got all new cards, because that helps to really sort of wipe the slate clean. All the automatic bills and payments and subscriptions start to pop up and say, hey, your card's not working anymore. Can you update your payment plan? And that gives you a second to go, do I want to be paying for that? All right, I'm not sure about this one, but people have done it, which is change whose name, let's say your internet is in, your internet or your cable or whatever, and maybe then get the new customer rate. So if every once in a while, like every year, 2, 3, whatever the deal is, if you change the name of who is paying for the internet, etc., you might get the new customer rate. Put a bunch of stuff on the same power strip, all the things that you tend to use during one part of the day but not need it most of the rest, and then just flip that switch to turn them all off. So you can consolidate where you're going to turn on and off your power and save or unplug it or whatever, but it's just piggybacking on the one that says unplug everything when you're not using it, put it on a power strip, and just deal with the power strip when you're not using it. I love this. It's sort of a classic. Refill all your containers at home, your condiments like ketchup, with packets from fast food. Especially if you eat a lot of fast food, you can just take a few extra home or whichever ones you don't use and squeeze them back into the bottles that you have at home. Take old shirts, cut them up and use them as rags. This is an excellent use of your materials, so you don't throw things away or waste them or buy new rags. I have done this before. Take old tablecloths, cut them up, and if you're good at sewing, or not even good, if you know how to sew the edges, and now you have napkins. I had a tablecloth that was so pretty. It's just cotton, and it got a big stain in the middle, so I wouldn't use it for a tablecloth. But if I cut all around it, I was able to make something like 6 napkins out of it, maybe more. It's not that big of a tablecloth. So cut up an old tablecloth, sew the edges, and use it as a napkin. If you work somewhere where you can do all your charging of small objects and then come home and they're all charged. So some people are taking, let's say, their power banks and whatever else you might be charging, and they charge it at work and then they bring it home fully charged. The really frugal ones are doing that, and then when they get home, they're running everything off those power banks. Not everything, but probably most things. So let's say they get home and their computer's on the power bank and not in the wall. Get a job at something that will save you money in life. So for example, if you want to save money and be able to travel, get a job working for an airline and take advantage of the travel perk. Or if you want to go to the gym or work out for free, get a job working at the gym. And it might only be cleaning it or be a few hours a week or working the night shift, whatever the deal is, you then could probably have free use to that. So think about getting a side job or a main job that not only benefits you for the paycheck, but that the perks that come with it. Properly store your produce so it lasts and doesn't go bad every week. You know, the lettuce we throw away or whatever the deal is, properly store it so it doesn't go to waste every week. And this piggybacks the frozen thing, is that you could be freezing these vegetables, right? You could be freezing fruit. If it's about to go bad and you don't think you're gonna finish it in time, quickly put it in the freezer. This one was new to me. Have your bank block apps that you have trouble resisting. If you have things that you have trouble resisting, whether it's spending money on or gambling on or whatever the deal is, or subscribing to, if you can't resist, you could call and have it blocked from you. So you can literally not access it or use it. And actually I should get some clarity on this, because you could probably have a phone company block it maybe, but also your bank blocking it. From what I heard, your bank blocks it so you can't spend money on it. But that seems different than, seems like you could still access it and peruse it, which maybe that would work just great, because then you'd still get that satisfaction without spending the money. And then when you block it on your phone, you kind of a little too easy to access it again, because you can unblock it because you're in charge. So consider figuring out ways to have some third party block things that you need to be honest with yourself and you should not be looking at. Visit nice neighborhoods on trash day. I actually want to do this on the Upper East Side of Manhattan, but especially in New York, really beautiful stuff is tossed out all the time. And it might be that somebody passed away and their whole apartment is just on the sidewalk. It might be people are doing reconstruction on their apartment and they just cannot be bothered. All sorts of reasons why. But if you go to the really, really nice neighborhoods, there's stuff to be found. And maybe it's furniture for you. Maybe you flip it on Facebook Marketplace. I mean, who knows what your ultimate goal or what you want to do with it, but consider making it a habit. There's a website called findhelp.org. It piggybacks on the very first one of this series, and that is that there are places like food banks there to help you. Findhelp.org is sort of a universal resource of a bunch of places that could help you in your time of need. So you can go on there and search by where you live and specifically your needs. So findhelp.org, use it when you need it. If you have the kind of job or business, let's say you're freelance or you own a small business or whatever the deal is, you can write off trips if you do a certain amount of work on those trips. And that work could be things like meetings. Now, you'll want to consult an accountant or a professional about exactly what you need to do and how you document it. But if you want a 1-week trip to Hawaii and you own a consulting business, if you schedule enough of the right things while you're there, then you can write at least some of that trip off. Again, I'm not an accounting professional, but I am a freelancer, and consult a professional to know exactly what you need to do. Now, recently, a medical professional came on and did a video that said this, and I thought that was so thoughtful of them. But they said, if you're going to get an MRI, a CT scan, or any imaging, to first call that place where you're going to do it and find out how much it would cost you in cash. Just call them directly and say, how much is this going to cost? And what you find is that insurance, if you had to pay some out of pocket for the insurance, for even when you have insurance, for doing that same imaging, that you might find that it was cheaper just to pay cash straight to the place. That insurance can be pretty questionable in its practices and could raise the price or have negotiated with that place a higher price. And so what you might owe is less if you just go straight to the source and pay them directly. So make the calls. 3 more left. This one is kind of great. If you want to make some extra cash, you can create something like go cook a bunch of burritos. Keep them simple, make an assembly line, pack up a ton, wrap them in tin foil, and go off to construction sites and sell them at lunchtime. Those guys, you will see that there's always people selling stuff around them, bottles of water, Gatorade, blah, 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 because they recognize that on a busy construction site, there are people that want to eat at lunchtime and they want to buy right there and then. So you could do that and make some extra cash. This is a really smart way to be, but live an only cash lifestyle. Don't use credit cards at all. Just say, I only use cash, and if I don't have the cash, I can't buy the thing. It will keep you from making some questionable choices if you struggle with spending more money than you should. And lastly, this encompasses my 20s, but save napkins when you go eat at restaurants, like paper napkins from fast food restaurants and stuff. When you get them and you have to have some extras, take them home and use them at home. In my 20s, I used them for almost everything. I used them to clean the house. So instead of paper towels, I'd be using my old Taco Bell napkins to wipe down surfaces. So, you don't need to waste them. So I hope that was helpful. That was 50 more. If you didn't see the first one, it's linked to this video. And I have a lot more coming at you. My thought is that we need to pool our resources and make good choices and help each other out, and that we can change the second half of our lives. And it could be financial, and it could be social, and it could be career, family, your looks, your health, your everything. So follow if this is remotely interesting to you. Share with somebody who might find it interesting. The more follows, likes, shares, the more I can go then do the research and bring the info back to you. So thanks so much for watching. I appreciate it.